Welcome to BPO and Beyond, financial freedom for BPO employees in the Philippines. BPO and Beyond podcast helps us empower Filipino BPO professionals to achieve financial freedom through career advancement, smart investing, and entrepreneurship. We deliver actionable strategies tailored to your unique challenges and opportunities. Stop dreaming about financial independence. Start building it. Your promotion, your future, your freedom. Episode 4. Why am I still living paycheck to paycheck despite earning decent money in the BPO? Welcome back to Career Compass, the podcast that helps BPO professionals and ambitious workers build successful careers and achieve financial freedom. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a question that hits close to home for many of you. Why am I still living paycheck to paycheck despite earning decent money in the BPO? This is one of the most frustrating financial situations you can find yourself in. You're working hard, you're earning what should be a comfortable salary, but somehow you're still struggling to make ends meet. You're not alone in this experience, and today we're going to explore why this happens and, more importantly, what you can do about it. Let me share our conversation with Rosa, a clinical trainer who's been working in the BPO industry for 4 years. I earn 60,000 pesos a month, she said, which is more than many of my friends who work in other industries. But I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. I can't figure out where all my money goes. I feel like I should be doing better financially, but I'm always stressed about money. What am I doing wrong? Rosa's situation is incredibly common, not just among BPO workers, but among professionals across many industries. In fact, studies show that even people earning six-figure salaries can find themselves living paycheck to paycheck. The problem isn't always about how much you earn, it's often about how you manage what you earn. Today, we're going to explore the hidden factors that keep people trapped in the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, even when they're earning decent money, and we'll discuss practical strategies to break free from this pattern. Before we dive into solutions, let's understand what living paycheck-to-paycheck really means. It's not just about being broke. Many people who live paycheck to paycheck have money in their accounts, but they have little to no money left over after covering their expenses. They might be able to pay their bills, but they can't save for emergencies, invest for the future, or handle unexpected expenses without going into debt. For BPO workers, this situation is particularly frustrating because the industry generally offers competitive salaries compared to other sectors in the Philippines. The average BPO salary is often 200 pesos or more above minimum wage, and many positions offer additional benefits like health insurance and performance bonuses. So why do so many BPO professionals still struggle financially? Let's explore the main culprits. Reason number 1, lifestyle inflation. This is probably the biggest factor keeping people trapped in the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Lifestyle inflation, also known as lifestyle creep, happens when your spending increases as your income increases. You get a raise or a promotion, and instead of saving the extra money, you upgrade your lifestyle to match your new income level. In the BPO industry, this often happens gradually. You start as an agent earning 18,000 pesos a month, living simply and maybe even saving a little. Then you get promoted to senior agent and start earning 25,000 pesos. You move to a nicer apartment, start eating out more often, maybe buy some new clothes to match your professional image. Then you become a team leader, earning 35,000 pesos. You upgrade your phone, start taking Grab instead of jeepneys, maybe treat your family to nicer restaurants. Each individual upgrade seems reasonable and affordable, but collectively, they consume all of your additional income. Before you know it, you're earning 45,000 pesos a month, but still living paycheck to paycheck because your expenses have grown to match your income. You're not necessarily living extravagantly, but you're not saving either. The insidious thing about lifestyle inflation is that it feels natural and justified. After all, you're working hard and earning more, so why shouldn't you enjoy a better lifestyle? The problem is that if you don't consciously save a portion of every raise, you'll never build wealth, no matter how much you earn. Reason number 2, lack of financial awareness. Many people living paycheck to paycheck simply don't know where their money goes. They have a general sense of their major expenses, like rent and utilities, but they're not tracking their spending in detail. This lack of awareness makes it impossible to identify areas where they could cut back or optimize their spending. For BPO workers, this problem is often compounded by irregular schedules and the convenience culture that surrounds many BPO centers. When you're working night shifts or rotating schedules, it's easy to rely on food delivery, convenience stores, and other services that cost more than planning ahead would. Small expenses add up quickly. That 150 pesos coffee and pastry every morning becomes 3,900 pesos a month. Lunch deliveries averaging 200 pesos per day become 5,200 pesos a month. These might seem like small amounts individually, but they can easily consume 10,000 pesos or more of your monthly income without you realizing it. Reason number 3, family financial obligations. In Filipino culture, family financial support is often expected and deeply ingrained. Many BPO workers find themselves supporting not just their immediate family, but also extended family members. While this generosity is admirable, it can make it extremely difficult to build personal financial security. The challenge is that family financial obligations often aren't planned or budgeted for. They come up as emergencies or requests that are difficult to refuse. Your cousin needs money for school fees, your parent needs help with medical expenses, or a family member asks for help with a business venture. These obligations aren't necessarily wrong, but they need to be managed strategically. If you're constantly giving away money without planning for it, you'll never be able to build your own financial foundation. Reason number 4, high interest debt. Credit cards, personal loans, and other forms of high interest debt can quickly consume a significant portion of your income. What starts as a small balance can grow rapidly due to interest charges, especially if you're only making minimum payments. Many BPO workers fall into debt during their early career when their salaries are lower and then struggle to pay it off even as their income increases. The monthly payments on this debt can easily consume hundreds or thousands of pesos that could otherwise be saved or invested. The psychological impact of debt is also significant. When you're carrying debt, it's easy to feel like you're not making progress financially, even when you're earning more money. This can lead to a "what's the point" mentality that prevents you from taking positive financial steps. Reason number 5, no emergency fund. Without an emergency fund, any unexpected expense becomes a financial crisis that requires borrowing money or using credit cards. This creates a cycle where you're constantly dealing with financial emergencies instead of building wealth. For BPO workers, emergencies might include medical expenses, family emergencies, job loss due to account changes, or major repairs. Without savings to handle these situations, you're forced to go into debt, which then creates ongoing monthly payments that keep you trapped in the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Reason number 6, social and cultural pressures. The BPO industry often has a culture of spending and socializing that can pressure workers to spend more than they can afford. Team dinners, after-work drinks, weekend trips, and other social activities can add up quickly. There's also pressure to maintain a certain image, especially as you advance in your career. You might feel like you need to dress a certain way, live in a certain area, or participate in certain activities to fit in with your colleagues or maintain your professional image. While social connections are important, it's crucial to find ways to participate that align with your financial goals rather than undermining them. Now that we understand why this happens, let's explore practical strategies to break free from the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Strategy number 1. Create a detailed budget. The first step to gaining control of your finances is understanding exactly where your money goes. Create a detailed budget that tracks every peso you earn and spend. Start by listing all your income sources, including your base salary, overtime pay, bonuses, and any side income. Then list all your expenses, starting with fixed expenses like rent, utilities, and loan payments, then variable expenses like food, transportation, and entertainment. Use a budgeting app or simple spreadsheet to track your spending for at least a month. You might be surprised by what you discover. Many people find that they're spending much more on certain categories than they realized. Once you have a clear picture of your spending, you can identify areas where you can cut back and redirect money towards savings and debt repayment. Strategy number 2. Implement the pay yourself first principle. Instead of saving whatever is left over at the end of the month, which is usually nothing, commit to saving a specific percentage of your income as soon as you get paid. Even if you can only start with 5% or 10%, this habit will help you build wealth over time. Set up an automatic transfer to a separate savings account so that the money is moved before you have a chance to spend it. Treat this savings contribution like a non-negotiable expense, just like your rent or utilities. As you get comfortable with this habit, and as your income increases, gradually increase the percentage you save. The goal is to eventually save 20% or more of your income, but start with whatever amount you can manage consistently. Strategy number 3. Tackle high-interest debt aggressively. If you're carrying credit card debt or other high-interest loans, make paying these off a priority. The interest you're paying on this debt is likely much higher than any returns you could earn from investments, so debt repayment is often your best investment. Consider using the debt avalanche method, where you pay the minimum on all debts but put any extra money toward the debt with the highest interest rate. Alternatively, you might prefer the debt snowball method, where you pay off the smallest debts first to build momentum. If you have multiple high-interest debts, consider consolidating them with a lower-interest personal loan. This can reduce your monthly payments and help you pay off the debt faster. Strategy number 4. Build an emergency fund. Start building an emergency fund, even if you can only contribute a small amount each month. Your initial goal should be 10,000 pesos to 20,000 pesos, which can handle most minor emergencies. Eventually, you want to build this up to 3 to 6 months of expenses. Keep your emergency fund in a separate, easily accessible account. This money is not for investments or planned expenses. It's specifically for true emergencies that you couldn't anticipate or budget for. Having an emergency fund will prevent you from going into debt when unexpected expenses arise, which is crucial for breaking the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Strategy number 5. Optimize your major expenses. Look for ways to reduce your biggest expenses without significantly impacting your quality of life. This might mean finding a cheaper apartment, getting a roommate, cooking at home more often, or finding more affordable transportation options. For BPO workers, consider the total cost of your living situation, including transportation to work. Sometimes paying slightly more for housing closer to your office can save you money overall when you factor in transportation costs and time. Also, review your subscriptions and recurring expenses. Cancel services you don't use regularly and look for ways to get the same benefits for less money. Strategy number 6. Increase your income strategically. While controlling expenses is important, increasing your income can accelerate your progress toward financial stability. look for opportunities to earn more within your current role through overtime, performance bonuses, or skill development that leads to promotions. Consider developing skills that could lead to higher-paying positions within the BPO industry, such as technical support, quality assurance, training, or management roles. You might also explore side income opportunities that leverage your existing skills, such as freelance customer service, virtual assistance, or online tutoring. However, be careful not to burn yourself out or compromise your performance in your primary job. Strategy number 7, plan for family financial obligations. If you regularly support family members financially, build this into your budget rather than treating it as an unexpected expense. Decide how much you can afford to contribute to family support each month and communicate these limits clearly. Consider helping family members in ways that build their long-term financial stability rather than just providing temporary relief. This might mean paying for education or training that helps them earn more, rather than just covering their monthly expenses indefinitely. Let me share a success story that illustrates how these strategies can work together. I worked with a friend named Mark, a technical support specialist earning 38,000 pesos a month, who was frustrated because he couldn't save any money despite earning more than many of his friends. When we analyzed Mark's spending, we discovered that he was spending almost 15,000 pesos a month on food and entertainment, mostly through delivery apps and eating out with colleagues. He was also sending 8,000 pesos a month to family members without any clear plan or limits. Mark implemented several changes. He started meal prepping on weekends, which reduced his food costs to about 8,000 pesos a month. He set a clear budget of 5,000 pesos for family support and communicated this limit to his relatives. He also started automatically transferring 5,000 pesos to savings as soon as he got paid. Within 6 months, Mark had built an emergency fund of 30,000 pesos and was consistently saving 5,000 pesos a month. He didn't feel deprived because he was still able to enjoy social activities and support his family, but he was doing so within a planned budget rather than spending impulsively. The key to Mark's success was that he didn't try to change everything at once. He focused on the biggest opportunities for improvement and built new habits gradually. This made the changes sustainable rather than overwhelming. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to emphasize that living paycheck to paycheck, despite earning decent money, is not a character flaw or a sign that you're bad with money. It's often the result of not having a clear financial plan and falling into common spending traps that affect people at all income levels. The good news is that with awareness and intentional action, you can break free from this cycle. It doesn't require earning dramatically more money. It requires being more strategic about how you manage the money you already earn. Start with small changes that you can sustain over time. Track your spending for a month to understand where your money goes. Set up automatic savings, even if it's just 1,000 pesos a month to start. Focus on paying off high-interest debt. Build an emergency fund gradually. Remember, financial freedom isn't about earning a specific amount of money. It's about having control over your money and making conscious choices about how you spend and save it. That's all for today's episode of Career Compass. If you're currently living paycheck to paycheck, I'd love to hear about the strategies you're going to implement to change your situation. Send me a message with your financial goals or questions about budgeting and saving. Next week, we'll be exploring investment options for beginners who don't know much about finance. We'll discuss simple, accessible ways to start building wealth, even if you're starting with small amounts. Until then, remember, your financial situation today doesn't determine your financial future. With the right strategies and consistent action, you can build the financial security and freedom you deserve. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week.